Welcome back to the Two Promises podcast. Let's dive right into another exciting adventure with BD and crew as he pursues his new passion of one day finding the most epic bourbon. The Two Promises team send their special thanks to Hobie and the Huckleberries for their masterful theme music. So grab a glass, relax, and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey and I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth, smooth whiskey. No more wine. I like straight bourbon. Baby, you try the ride.
Welcome back. Thank you all for tuning in and keeping us going here at BD and the Two Promises podcast. We are recording here on the BD Bobber, and we have Captain Jack back. So I'm super excited to have Captain Jack back as a guest again. I didn't scare him away too much in the meantime. So, Jack, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing absolutely fantastic. So, again, we're just kind of talking about some just different beverages that we've been enjoying lately. And what was the last beverage that you kind of like stood out to you or that you're enjoying now?
Well, Mom, if you're listening, I'm drinking coconut water, full of electrolytes. Really good.
Nice.
Delicious. But
Excellent.
anybody else out there, I'm drinking Wild Barrel's Next Level Hazy Juicy IPA.
Excellent. A shout out and much love to all the mothers in the audience and coconut water.
Absolutely.
And well-branded, delicious IPAs. So I got introduced to a beverage that I just kind of randomly threw together yesterday whenever Captain Jack invited me to a pool party with a very exclusive, small, close group of intimate friends, so COVID compliant, all was well. And it was just really nice because I'd gotten a lot of productivity things kind of knocked out, and it was nice to kind of just settle into an afternoon with some good friends, good people, good company. And I was just kind of throwing together a refreshing beverage that I thought would be, delicious. So I just kind of had this boxed wine that I really liked. I put in some Citron, which is like, I don't know, it's a Korean label. I don't know where it's actually invented from, but it's like a honeyed, like citrusy blend for teas and stuff like that. So I threw in some of that, some extra local honey, because as you know, I really like local honey. It's really good for antihistamines, immune system support, all kinds of stuff. And oh yeah, and then a little bit of the Cask of Amontillado Broken Barrels whiskey, so just to give it a little bit of spice. Oh yeah, and some hot water, so it could be like steamed a little bit and or just like warm. And it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was just delicious. It was like a spiced wine almost. And while I was at the little pool party, one of Jack's girlfriend's friends commented that it was a pagan drink and like almost a full moon, and I'm like. She was like, I don't really know what that means, but hey, Halloween, you know what I mean?
All right.
So,
That's pretty good.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, there's not really much going on for Halloween, like, as with most holidays this year.
No, it's pretty dead.
Pretty dead. So I'm celebrating by making Rummy a costume out of leather, something new. I've never really done much leather work, so I'm learning. And Rummy's chewing up my boat.
Right.
So,
That's
Jack,
a puppy for you. That's
yeah.
a puppy for you.
I know, right? The puppy. Well, at least now she's chewing on one of her, like, good chew toys that's supposed to be good for dental development. So,
That's good.
not my furniture or clothing
That's pretty
or
good.
podcasting equipment. Anyway, so, again, Captain Jack, I do apologize. We've been, close friends for a while, and I keep mispronouncing your name. Could you hit me with it one more time?
Falkenstein.
Falkenstein. Okay. Falkenstein.
It's like the big guy with the bolts in his head without the Frank.
Ah.
It's just Falk.
Without the Frank. Okay. Frankenstein. Falk, not Frank.
Yeah.
Falkenstein. Okay. All right. Falkenstein, not Frankenstein. Okay.
We come from the same neighborhood.
You guys, all right. Got it.
We're like a village over.
All right. Yeah. Tell me more. Tell me more. So spooks. We're talking about some spooks here because, we just coming off of the Halloween weekend. And obviously I'm recording before Halloween, but whenever you listen to this, you'll be just coming off of whatever it was you did to celebrate Halloween. And as you can see, it's very exciting here on the BD Bobber. Night in with a puppy and me trying to do arts and craft like Martha Stewart or whatever. Does she do arts and crafts?
She does arts and crafts.
Right.
I do believe she
Cool.
does.
Well, at least I got some popular
And she
culture
smokes weed with
references.
Snoop.
Oh, yep, I did hear about that one, so that's pretty awesome. So what kind of things, like, was there anything that ever freaked you out growing up?
Ah, man. Freaked me out?
Yeah, you didn't like or you had a fear of. Like, some people don't like clowns, you know what I mean? Any clowns, nice clowns, happy clowns, scary clowns, like any kind of clown.
No.
Clown that pops out of a box. Nothing?
Nah, I was
Not
scared
having
of
coffee in the morning. That's what Captain Jack was afraid of, not having my cup of joe.
I was scared of my dad more than anything. That's it. That's
I
what
got
was
you.
scared
All
of.
right. That's a valid fear.
I was scared of my father.
You know, I wouldn't say that I'm afraid of them per se. Well, I'm afraid of like what they could do potentially to like the planet. And for me, that's snowmen. So I guess that would be like one of my fears from childhood that I just kind of always kind of, you know, I still grapple with to this day. But I mean, that's more probably a winter episode, like a Krampus-y type theme, not like a Halloween thing, even though Krampus is a great kind of like legend, you know, scary myth that does kind of fit into the Halloween genre of spooks and ghouls.
Right. Absolutely.
So, do you know much about the Krampus?
No, absolutely.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Tell me about it.
So, it's basically like this Yeti-esque abominable snowman, but instead of like a positive reinforcement Santa Claus, it was like a negative reinforcement in some like European cultures.
Really?
Where it was like this demonic-esque evil snowman that would go in and harm and like torture the bad kids. So that's why you wanted to be good. And like throughout time, it's just morphed into all these weird like, you know, manifestations.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know, I just, whenever you've got some time and you're trying to watch some Christmas movies or something like that, try to throw a couple fast ones past your, you know, your flame.
I'll have to try that one.
Yeah. So, some weird medical practices kind of related to, well, medicine. Because, you know, we've got a lot going on with this pandemic and so many people concerned about their health, asking a lot of different questions that they weren't asking before, which is good. I'm glad people are asking these questions, and I think a lot of people are going to be a lot more educated and a lot more smarter because of this, even though it has been chaos and a roller coaster kind of going through it. But, yeah. So, you had told me kind of about a finger that you'd seen kind of gotten flayed open.
Yeah, I mean, fishing up in Alaska, I've seen a guy had his finger from the second knuckle down, straight up the middle like a banana. I mean, it was horrible. It was shit.
Yeah.
No
That's
bone
awful.
left. It's all gone.
That's awful.
But I mean, that's...
Was he wearing
nothing.
a ring? Was he wearing a
Nothing,
ring?
nothing.
No. Sometimes that's pretty common with wearing some just different types of jewelry.
Right.
But kind of bringing back to the Halloween pieces, I'm on a budget trying to spice things up for Halloween and just celebrate my own way. And I got the puppy, so that's just a good excuse to kind of, you know, buy a couple little cheap things and turn them into costumes. Well, I had a guest over the other night, and a friend of mine goes way back. I'm so excited for her. She's just on such a positive track in her life, and we finally got to catch up after years of not seeing each other. But she was appalled by the fact that I didn't want Rummy to chew on some things, but I have these little, like, severed fingers, like a 10-pack, and I was encouraging my dog to chew on fingers. And she's like, what? That's like the worst thing you could do for a puppy. She's going to want to chew on every finger. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. And we went round and around. And then we started talking about the eyeballs I was letting her chew on. And, oh, man.
Happy Halloween.
Right? We got that Rummy over there. She's a freaking full-on Harley Quinn freaking Birds of Prey little pup.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
She's
We've been trying to figure out what she's going to be for Halloween, so if you've been following my Instagram, you've seen her 12 days of Halloween. So tomorrow, we're going to see if she earned a cool costume, or if she's a dunce, or if we're just going to, who knows. But tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big Halloween costume reveal. I don't even know what it's going to be yet, because some of it depends on Rummy's mood and what she lets Daddy get away with whenever it comes to freaking beauty pageants and photo ops. So, Your guess is as good as mine, folks, but you're going to see it on my Instagram, so make sure you're following my socials, and I know my website's a little out of whack right now, but we're doing some tweaks right now behind the scenes, so hopefully we're going to have full integration very soon. So besides the point. But let's talk about some weird integration of some medical practices. Alright, so we've talked about some crazy fingers getting splayed off, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about Krampuses, like what about vampires?
Well, I mean, I know they used to use leeches, right?
Yep.
To filter blood?
Yep, they used to use leeches, so they would use that kind of to, even to this day, to eat some of the decaying flesh and just different therapies so that it doesn't have as much time to tarnish the other flesh. And just that kind of massage on just different tissues also promotes blood flow in that area, which in a lot of ways promotes healing because it helps get that good oxygenation in and that bad stuff out. So even to this day, I've seen them I've even applied leeches to people's mouths in like hospital settings and stuff like that. And even way back in the day, they would do full-on bloodletting. Like they would cut into people's veins and like let blood out of them because they thought it balanced them with their different types of, I don't know, I think it was like 4 things, like or 5 things, like a yellow bile, a black bile, blood, phlegm. I can't remember all the things, but you know, and blood was one of them. So if it was unbalanced and it was an unknown infection or something like that, and like something else that was unbalanced and they couldn't figure it out, sometimes they just let people's blood out, like almost like vampires. And that, folks, was just about one of the strangest things I've ever seen. No joke, just sitting there talking about vampires and some bloodletting techniques and just like that, Captain Jack just disappeared, poof, vanished. So, here I am. This is definitely a little bit surreal. I think there's going to be quite a bit of mystery and intrigue about this, and I'm quite interested to ask Captain Jack about this strange occurrence the next time that I see him. So, if anybody sees Captain Jack at any time, just go ahead and throw out a Captain Jack post on social media or something, because that was just bizarre. It's almost like Marco Polo, but with Captain Jack. So, needless to say, that completely threw off my train of thought. And let's just say that takes ghosting to an entirely new level. Alright, so, back on track. Let's talk about some strange medical procedures that I've been made aware of. So, apparently, the placental delivery is seen differently in different cultures. And a lot of things are seen differently in different cultures, let's just be honest. But the old master lock placental delivery technique, I would say, is among one of the most bizarre techniques for OBGYN practices that I think I have ever seen. This is essentially where they take the umbilical cord after it's been cut and they tie a master lock to it so that there's a weight to help gravity pull it, and then they just lean the old lady right up against a tree or a post or something she can support her weight on, and just hope that gravity takes it from there. So, yeah. Welcome to the dark side of the moon, I guess. Alright, I'm not going to go on a big tirade about some of the weird medical stuff that I've seen, learned about, experienced, and stuff like that, although it would be probably quite fitting for a Halloween episode. But maybe I'll just put in a little tag, a little plug, a little something, that I think that oftentimes the simple things are too often complicated, and variables, analysis paralysis can easily set in. And then a lot of times we're standing there looking at what's going on and just really confused and wondering what it is that we should do, what to do, and how to make sense of a lot of things. And sometimes just slowing down and finding that it's the simplest things that actually are a lot of times the most therapeutic. For instance, just like a quick little plug-in, I've been doing yoga at Indie Yoga, and I'm going to work on drafting up a review for them. But the way that they break down just the breathing and the precise way that you spread your toes or your fingers and all of those things, and breaking things down into simple steps and actually appreciating those steps instead of just all of the things that push into our subconscious to go throughout our day. Which kind of brings us back to our theme, our season's theme of make bourbon medicine again. Finding those simple therapies, those home remedies, those good for the heart, good for the soul things that we can use and we can implement that not only make us feel better in the moment, but also boost our metabolism, make us healthier, make us stronger, and as a result, we're more able to live our passion, to live our purpose, and just to create and be and do whatever it is that we do. And I guess since I put in a plug for the bourbon, I might as well put in a plug for the rum, or rummy. So being new single dog dad is quite interesting for me, but it's just really fun to see what a puppy's interested in and what a puppy does, and how it's just so fascinated by, to me, things that I can't even perceive, just smells and sensations and things that they hear, and it's just fascinating to watch and just see her mannerisms and everything like that as we just kind of get to know each other. And I'm trying to train her into being a cool boat dog and everything. I mean, with a name like Rummy and she lives on a boat, I mean, come on, she needs to be a freaking rad pirate pup, you know what I'm saying? So, we've got the coolest costume designed for her. Oh my goodness, you're going to have to check out the Instagram and the socials because her costume is super rad. So, she's definitely going as a shield maiden, and I think she's really going to rock the red carpet for the puppy costume awards, if you will. So, I'm super excited for you guys to see that. Again, happy Halloween. I hope you all had a wonderful, safe weekend, made responsible decisions, got home safe, and keep that in mind for the next time that you celebrate. And I know we've probably not got a lot of revelry going on with all of the COVID pandemic and everything like that, but it's just another reminder. Whatever decisions that you're making, make responsible and staying safe, keeping other people safe. So, excited about Halloween. I just had a kind of a fun zen time just prepping at home and getting my space in order. And by prepping, I mean prepping for All Hallows Eve or Halloween or whatever you want to call it. You know, this festivity that we're celebrating. So, that's what we've got going on. And that being said, taking a little bit of time. I've been going pretty fast lately, trying to juggle a lot of things with all of this 2020 that we've got going on, and I just realized that they don't even do reviews on podcasts on Amazon, so the promotion that I was attempting to promote is essentially, I guess I'm just going to have to find a different way to send out swag to you people. So I'll have to stew on that, but I still want to get you guys some more awesome swag. I know I said that I was going to give 2 promotional giveaways, so right now I'm in the process of getting some of my digital infrastructure reorganized now that the dust is settled after the launch. So thank you all for being just such loyal listeners, such loyal subscribers, and so patient with me as I get this podcast brand and everything off the ground. It's been quite a roller coaster and quite a lot of fun to learn so many new things, and obviously mistakes and error and, you know, troubleshooting, problem solving, trial and error are all great ways that we all learn. So I just want to thank everyone who's been a part of that learning experience with me and that have given me grace and kept me on a right path, pointed me on a different path, or just kind of shown me some cool tips and tricks. And I'm really excited about learning some more tips and tricks and just different things from my listeners, from the people that I interview, my guests, and just learn a little bit more about life and how the things that are important to just different individuals that I miss, obviously, being away and being gone. And since we're circling right back around to connections, let's just talk about the social media connections, right? So a lot of social isolation, a lot of stuff going on, and I kind of started a little tradition with myself and Rummy, and it's the 12 days of Halloween. So if you've been following, you've been seeing it, you've been able to see a little bit of her personality and some of the trials and tribulations of a single dog dad and being on a boat and trying to get my life in order while adopting a little rescue from Tijuana. So she's just sweet and adorable. So, but what I would like to see is, I would like to see how you guys are celebrating. So on our social media sites, you're going to see pictures of Rummy, you're going to see pictures of our costume creation, all that kind of stuff. Just go ahead and post pictures of your costumes or how you're celebrating or things like that. and go ahead and share some of the traditions that you use when you celebrate, or even some ones that you'd like to invent or that you'd like to see come someday or something like that would catch on bigger. So pictures and traditions, that would be super fun to kind of talk about, chat about, and I'll start it off. So I know it'll be after the fact, but we'll get to do a little bit of reliving those little, those fun nostalgic memories, and then we'll look forward to the rest of the year, the rest of the holidays, and all the exciting stuff that we have in store for all of us. Speaking of the holidays, I'm putting together some pretty incredible Christmas promotions. So if you've been thinking about, getting some gifts for some loved ones, and you're not sure exactly what gift you're wanting to purchase for who, just know that you got some awesome Two Promises swag coming that's going to include, we're talking whiskey barrels, of course the cornhole boards, of course the coffee mugs, of course all of that stuff, but we're also talking about discounted pre-sales of some of BD's very first bourbon. So, if you're a whiskey drinker, if you're someone who enjoys kind of value buying, anything like that, you want to buy a special gift for the gift that keeps on giving, and we're not talking about the freaking Jelly of the Month Club or Fruitcake of the Month Club. We're talking about some really incredible bourbon at incredibly discount prices, along with some really awesome swag that you can hold on to and enjoy until you actually get to sip that delicious bourbon that is on its way. And there we go. Guilty. I blended the other holidays with Holloween, but, I was a little bit thrown off course by the strange and mysterious disappearance of my good and dear friend Captain Jack. So we'll just have to stay tuned on that and be a little flexible on the strange segues that occur. And before I get too carried away on any more rambles and tangents and tirades and who knows what else might occur, I think it's quite appropriate that I end this episode a little bit early. I know usually I strive to give you a little bit longer episodes, but in light of certain events, i.e. strange disappearances of, captains, it's very important that I start mounting a search expedition. So I'm going to start doing that. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for engaging. Thank you all for downloading and listening. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you on your traditions and checking out how you're celebrating Halloween, or how you did celebrate Halloween here in 2020. So thank you all very much, and make bourbon medicine again.
Thank you for joining us today on this curious roller coaster of life. If this is your stop, please exit peacefully. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're ready for another one, just push play. Just a final note before you go, thank you, and thank you for feeling. The distillation and aging process is different for everyone. I'm not quite sure what you're ready for. Sip slowly and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey, now I'm feeling fine. Drinking that slow whiskey. No more